The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
And this is my Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. And my podcast is all about giving a voice to everyday people who've gone through extraordinary things. Like we hear all the time about all the craziness, all the awfulness that, people are going through or that people do. And so my goal is to do the opposite. My goal is to talk about the good in people, to talk about the resilience in people, and to have guests that can motivate and inspire the world. Because it takes one person and it takes like one thought in order to have you change maybe how you thought about something. And so my guest today, I have known her we were just talking about it. I have known this beautiful woman for over 20 years. Yes, I'm that old to be knowing her for 20 years. Her name is Shaneen Hall. And literally like a sister to me. I have known Shaneen through babies, through getting married, through dang near killing my husband, through cancer, through everything. When I went and had my first cancer surgery, Miss Shaneen and Demisha Jones were there with your pink blankets and your pillows. And, they have been and you have been a support system to me and to Troy and to Truly.
Thank you.
I love you dearly and feel blessed that you're on the show. Shaneen, would you mind kind of telling the viewers a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your military background, your fashion background, and like what you're up to today?
Okay. Hi, I'm Shaneen. And yes, we've been friends for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. And such a blessing to still be your friend and
Yay.
To be there. And we've had some moments.
Yes.
Yes, we've had. But starting with me, I am an Army veteran. I went to the military after high school, did 6 years.
And now what made you go? Because everyone doesn't wake up and decide, I want to be in the Army, especially women and especially, to me, I think, Black women.
Right. Well, Mom said.
Really?
Mom said after graduation, either you go to college or you go into the military. Mm-hmm. And that was one of our family values from Grandpa on down. So I decided to go to the Army. I have a sister, Shaquana. She went to the Air Force, so I didn't want to follow her. Mm-hmm. And then I have a brother, DeLazzo, who's a Marine. Mm. So I chose the Army like my grandfather.
Wow.
So I did 6 years in the military, and it was some exciting moments. That's a great time.
And is that something you would recommend for people to do who they want to do something with their lives? Is it something that you look back and think that was a really good time? I'm glad I made that decision.
Well, yeah, I think now for young men, especially right out of high school, mm-hmm. I think that they should go and at least do 2 years in the military because it's a perfect preparation for you for life. Mm-hmm. You learn all kind of skills, you learn responsibility, mm-hmm. And you learn how to be an adult. Mm. You learn how to be an adult. And I think it's a great responsibility for all the kids coming out of high school. Mm-hmm. Now, we have this president.
Yeah. We got crazy Trump.
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
Everyone can have their opinion.
Right.
Yes.
So now, I'm kind of scared about saying, yeah, go to the Army, because you may be stuck there for a while. Now, when we went to the military, there was no war. And we never thought about going to war. It's like, okay, go to the military. You can still go to school.
How many years ago are we talking?
I went right out of high school, 1988.
Okay.
1988.
You look good. You look good.
Oh, thank you. But it was, we had such a good time, though, in there. I had some great memories, and
you got to travel a lot, right?
I got to travel. I've been a few places.
Like where?
Well, just in the States. I didn't go out this country with the military.
Oh, okay.
But just, South Carolina, Fort Lee, Virginia, Fort McClellan, Alabama, just around the States. So
and like 30 years ago, was it hard for women to be in the Army, or how did that all play out?
Well, for me, I was a tomboy.
Okay.
So coming out of high
you were like,
school,
cool.
Yeah. So I had 3 brothers, and I ran track. I played football with the boys. So I was a tomboy. So which I was excited to do all the drills, and then I was a captain in the Army. I was they put me in charge of everything.
You were the head bee.
I was the head. I was the head. And actually, I'm a sharpshooter. I am a sharpshooter.
I never knew that about you.
I'm a sharpshooter.
Girl, why haven't we gone shooting?
Yeah, no, I'm a sharpshooter.
Troy, she's a sharpshooter. Watch out, baby. We gonna go. That's a sexy date.
Okay, it is.
You're a sharpshooter?
I'm a sharpshooter. I love the tomboy stuff.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so fast forward into you making the decision to get out.
Yes.
And then you started, I know you did a lot in fashion, and you worked with Dada, if anyone. I don't know if Dada is still out now. Did it come back, or?
No, well, they sold Dada.
Okay.
And that's when I left Dada in 2007.
Because Dada was a good time. That's kind of like when we really met. And I know I was in college. I was going to Cal State Long Beach. And, you guys, like, to me, you and Demisha Jones, and, like, you guys had this really sexy life because you were always meeting stars, and you worked at the store, and you were always doing photo shoots. And I remember, like, seeing Exhibit and Snoop before he was, like, Snoop, like, before it was really big. And
Right.
What was that kind of experience like? Because you were like the little sister to everybody.
Yeah. Well, it started, I was with my friend, C Love. Everybody should know C Love. And he was working for Dada. And I was hanging around out here, and he wasn't driving. He's from New York, so he wasn't a driver. So he had asked me to drive him around. He used to dress all the celebrities for the black TV shows. So that's how I got started. I started helping him dress the celebrities. And then the CEOs of Dada, they were interested in me, and they wanted me to help them with the store. So they opened a store on Melrose. So that was my store.
I remember that. I remember going up there. We'd be like, oh, we're going to visit Shanique. I'm like, you got any shoes for me? Like, I totally remember that.
Yeah. And all the celebrities would come up there. And it was a good time. It was on Melrose. And then the tragic happened, the 9/11. So Melrose got real slow. So we ended up closing the store. And so they wanted me to be the assistant to the CEOs, the COOs, and the CFO. So that's how I ended up in-house. So I went to all the games. I had to do everything that they needed to do. I had to travel with all our celebrities.
And now, like, what's some behind the scenes stuff? Like, it's one thing for me to travel and meet a flat coach, and like nobody cares about me. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like a whole nother thing when you're traveling with a celebrity. Like, does that build into your self-esteem and your confidence, or does it like take away when people like, you know what I mean? When you're not the center and people are like, oh, I need this and I need that. Like, how does that work in like who you are and your self-esteem and looking at yourself?
It's okay for me because for me, celebrities, I don't,
like they're people.
Yeah, they're just regular people to me. Mm-hmm. And then born and raised in LA, you kind of know few on a personal level from school or from, them playing football or basketball. You kind of know a little bit of everybody. So, and then my personality, I love everybody. Everybody's the same. And, just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean you're different. You're still the same. So I think my personality and, kind of gravitated to everybody. And
did you prefer kind of being the person behind the scenes, being like the go-to who knew everything and they had to kind of turn to in order to like do whatever they needed to do, like the support?
Yeah, I was okay with that because I know that I'm going to do my job at 200%. So I'm going to make it work. So whatever they need, yes. They
get
to
old?
me and they get it. No, it doesn't matter.
I'm like, sometimes I'd be like, get your own shoes.
But no, I had to, make sure our product was promoted decently and make sure that them and their family and their entourage was taken care of. So everybody was happy. So
you really kind of like that role, that mama, that, support, kind of doing all of that.
I do.
Yeah. Because you're even like that, like with the friends and making sure we don't get crazy and like settle down now. Like, crazy Shanine comes out. But. Okay.
Right. But, I try to be, mellow and that's just my personality. Yeah. Just calm.
So is there like, I feel like you've done you've worked with a lot of rappers and you've worked with is there outside of that?
Well, with the Dada came, I started my own business. And I was dressing celebrities for a lot of things. I did exhibit for Pimp My Ride for like 3 seasons.
And you guys traveled all over the world. Like, you traveled out of the country.
Yeah, with exhibit, we did, we went to London. We went to France. We did a lot of stuff. The English.
And had you ever traveled like that outside of the country before exhibit?
No, I didn't.
You weren't scared to go? Like, you were just like, I'm ready. Let's do this. Well, you were a sharpshooter.
Well, yeah. I'm kind of fearless. That's true. But I was excited, and dealing with exhibit, Warren G., Snoop Dogg.
These are big time celebrities. It's not like, F-list. Like,
I know. Sometimes my friends are like, these guys? I'm like, yeah, they're just like my play brothers.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm so close to them. I hang out with them all the time. And it's not a big deal to me. They're like my brothers. But I did a lot of wardrobe for their video shoots, for shows, for BET, for MTV.
Now, like, how does that work? Because, like, I'm always looking for clothes, and I have a sponsor, which is Deluxe Boutique. Hey, Carla. See, looking cute.
That's a pretty shirt. I like that.
I'm feeling cute and casual. But, like, I find myself constantly, like, calling her and trying to figure out what to wear. And when you design and you style for someone, like, what does that look like? Do you go to the store, buy the stuff, show it to them, and then they pick? And then, like, how does that work?
Well, I have to meet with you first. I want to know your style. Okay. I want to know how you're dressing right now to me. What type of clothes do you like to wear? But I can have the eye for it. I can kind of look at you and vision of what you would look good in. And now my thing is dressing guys. I don't like to dress females. I'm sorry.
Now why?
I'm sorry.
I know I tried to get you to dress me. Didn't quite work out. You were like, no, girl. You like dressing like your mama.
I know. Well, for one, I love fashion. So if I'm going to pick out some female stuff, it's going to be, for me, it's going to be my style. And then I don't want you to look like me.
Yeah. And you dress That's really sexy.
Thank you. I try. I love fashion. I love it. And then women sometimes are very picky and different. And
I could see that.
Yeah, and I prefer to deal with my rapper boys. But I love to dress the guys. I love it. But I could look at you and pick out what looks good on you.
And so do you go and buy it? Do people like just send clothes? Because in my mind, not knowing, like I think, they must just get all these clothes sent to them and shipped to them, and because people want them to wear their styles.
Right. Well, it goes both ways. MTV and BT will give me a budget.
Oh.
Yes. So
okay.
I'll have a budget from them to go buy.
Okay.
Sometimes they would like the clothes back, but most of the time, the artists just keep the clothes.
Oh.
Yeah, once they give me a budget. Now, other times, some people will just pay me, and then I will just go pick out what they need, and I'll get a service fee, and then you buy your clothes. So you give me money for your clothes, and I'll give you the budget. I'll tell you how much that I'm going to spend and what my price is.
And now, do you go to like more, what is it called? Like the brand names, outlets, like I'm fascinated, which is why I'm going down this road. But in a second, I'll come off of it. But like, where do you, like, you don't go to Macy's?
Oh, I love Macy's.
Oh, okay, maybe you do go to Macy's.
Yes, and Macy's menswear is brilliant.
Oh, okay.
They have the nice jackets. They have nice clothes. But I do have artists and designers that will send me clothes for the artists to wear their clothes. I did have a lot of that going on along with Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and they will send me clothes and pieces for the artists to wear depending on.
You said Gucci and Louis Vuitton?
Yes.
My husband needs a belt.
Okay. No. Right? Oh, and
I said, Troy, baby, when I get up there, I'm going to get you a Louis Vuitton belt.
Yes, their stuff is pricey too. But yes, they would send me product, and a lot of no-name artists or artists coming up or that's doing their wardrobes and their clothing line. They would send us a lot of stuff. Warren G loves Adidas, so Adidas would always send me a whole bunch of stuff for him and his crew. So
that is crazy.
Yeah, I had my different ones. The Jordan brand. They would send me all the Jordan stuff, so, and then Snoop has his, he likes his own style, custom made, and yeah, he has a designer now that does all that. But, yeah.
That is very, very interesting. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to talk about kind of things that you've gone through. I want to talk about your work with the Brain Aneurysm Society and kind of what that means to you and why you're passionate about it. So thank you. We will be right back with Miss Shaneen Hall. Hello, my name is Kara Adams. I'm the author of Hidden Treasure. I'm a speaker. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a cancer survivor. And what I want to do is invite you to my one-day VIP gym retreat. It's at the beautiful Mission Inn. The retreat will be on May 11th. It is from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. The retreat is for anyone who puts themselves last because you're putting your family first, you're putting your career first, and what we want to do is to put you first for once. So if you are looking for a day of pampering and to just be treated like the king or queen that you are, please feel free to come and to join us. Find out how to sign up for it if you go to my website, which is www.karaadams.com, and I hope to see you there. Marshall. That's Deluxe Boutique, and they have the cutest clothes. See, like, I would never pick this out for myself if I was, like, you know, going to Macy's or wherever. And Carla's like, put it on, Kara, it'll be cute. And I'm like, dang, I'm looking cute.
It is cute. I like it. I like it.
Thank you. So when we left off, we were talking to Shaneen Hall. Mm-hmm. Again, you are with us. This is our Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. I am Kara Adams. My guest today is Shaneen. And when we left off, we were talking about what, you know, kind of the new thing she's into, her new passion, which is the Brain Aneurysm Foundation and everything that they're doing and why it's important to you. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of what you've been through and why this is so important?
Okay. So December 2012, I did have a brain aneurysm that ruptured. And it ruptured on the table at Loma Linda. I was having a craniotomy.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And now, for anyone who doesn't know what a brain aneurysm is, can you, like, you know, in layman's terms, explain it?
Well, it's a matter of your organs or your veins not being able to pass the blood. Mm-hmm. You know, your blood pressure is pumping blood through your veins and your arteries. Mm-hmm. Well, somewhere there is a block. There's a wall. Mm-hmm. And it's making it looks like a water balloon. It looks like a water balloon. So it's like a side sac water balloon where your blood is going because it's not pumping through like it should be because the weakening of the wall.
And can you feel that happening? Is there any side effect? Like, do you start to get headaches? Do you start to get blurred vision? Mm-hmm. Like, is there any way that you know that this is happening?
Well, for one, they don't even know why we have aneurysms. And that, to me, I was surprised by that. And I couldn't believe it.
Because does it run in your family?
Well, now I found out that there has been a few aneurysm deaths in my family. Mm-hmm. So they figure either you had trauma to your head or it's hereditary. Mm-hmm. Or like you can be in a car accident and hit your head and all of a sudden that wall is weak and the blood is not flowing through like it should be.
And you have no idea that it's happening. No, it's like a silent killer.
Yes. And that's one of the reasons why I am starting a foundation. Mm-hmm. It's called Shaneen's Dream.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, it's my aneurysm foundation. And the dream is to find aneurysms before they find you.
I love it. Say it again. Say it again.
Shanine's dream is to find aneurysms before they find you.
That is amazing. And so you were really lucky. Like, I know your story, so I'm going to pick it out. But you were really lucky because you're an optometrist?
Yeah, so mine started, my left eye started being blurry. Mm-hmm. So I thought I needed glasses. Now, I am one of 7 children who have had 20/20 vision all my life. All my siblings have worn glasses since they were little. Mm-hmm. So it used to be a big joke in the family. You know, I used to call everybody 4 eyes and, you know, everything with glasses because I never had to wear them. Mm-hmm. So they say, you know, once you turn 40, it's about time for everyone to start getting some glasses. Mm-hmm. So my eye kept being blurry, the left eye. So I thought, okay, let me go to the optometrist and get me some glasses.
Yes.
Well, I got there and I failed all his tests in the left eye.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like being able, like when it says like EFD, being able to read the sign. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he'll put you in a machine too that you have to see all the dots. Okay. Well, the left side wasn't seeing anything. So basically I failed his test in the left eye.
And now, could you see through your left eye?
I thought, yes. To me, I could still see regularly.
Okay.
Nothing was wrong with my eye. It was just blurry sometimes, and I kept rubbing it. And so he told me I need to go see the ophthalmologist and promised to go see soon and tell him what happened. So 2 weeks later, you know.
Your optometrist said to go see the ophthalmologist. Okay.
Yes. So I'm like, that's kind of weird, you know. So I said, let me make an appointment over at Loma Linda. Went to see the ophthalmologist. I failed her test in the left eye. And she called me later on that day, and she told me, I need you to meet me in ER by 5 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah. And that day I was out here in L.A. I was with Warren G. and them doing some things. And I told her, I can't make it.
Making some moves.
Yeah, making some moves. But I got worried. I'm like, meet you in the ER.
Yeah.
That's kind of,
That's scary for anybody to hear.
Right. So that next morning, I got home, packed me a little bag, went on to the ER, stayed there. Long story short, they gave me a CAT scan. And the CAT scan came back, and they said it was like a mass in my brain. So I'm like, a mass? Okay. Well, what can we do? Well, we'll meet, a family visit, and we'll take care of it, schedule an appointment to get it taken care of. But it was a black neurologist, too, at Loma Linda. And he said, but wait, I see something else. I want to have a MRI. So, I'm flirting because he's black, and I'm like, okay.
And a doctor.
So I was like, okay, just
How could you not?
I know. I know, because you don't see them. That's kind of rare. So, I'm a little flirt.
Yeah, yes,
so,
a big flirt. I ain't mad at you.
Oh, my God. So I told him, so he said, I said, hurry, I've been here all day. It's been 12, 13 hours. I'm ready to go, blah, blah, blah. He said, okay, just let me get this one more test. And so he came back, and him and the doctors were high-fiving each other, and I was like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah. I have never in my life seen that. And I've seen, you know my story. I've seen a ton of doctors.
Right.
I've never seen them high-five.
They were high-fiving, and they were excited. And I said, well, what's going on? And he told me, I got good news, I got bad news. The bad news is you're going to have to stay the night with me. You have to stay here. And I'm like,
cool.
That ain't that bad.
Cool.
Yeah. I said, okay, that's kind of cool or whatever. And so he said, but we found it. We found it. We caught it. And I kept saying, you caught what? It's like, you have one of the largest brain aneurysms that we at Loma Linda have ever seen.
Oh, my gosh.
And we cannot believe that you're in here even talking to us like nothing's wrong. And so I just kind of lost it because
like cried
about a brain aneurysm. That's a death call. That's like,
you hear about it after they've died. Because very rarely do people get diagnosed with it.
Right. Right. And so they told me I had to stay. They were admitted me and
we have a call, Miss Shani.
Oh, okay.
This one's mine.
Okay.
This one's yours. Okay. Hello, welcome to Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. Who am I speaking to?
Speaking to Tammy.
Hi, Tammy. How are you? You can't hear?
I'm doing absolutely marvelous.
Great. Do you have a question, or are you just excited?
Is this Kara?
This is Kara, yes.
Hey, girl, this is Tammy Martin Rouse. I was listening to the show, and I was listening to your guest talk about the aneurysm.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know me with nutrition. And with me hearing that they don't know what caused it, it's on record. Everybody knows everything goes back to nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just concerned when I heard we don't know what causes these things, and I just, that was just a concern for me because we have so many, especially African Americans, we're at the top of the charts.
With aneurysms?
I mean, just dying from everything. We're at the top.
Yeah.
And having these blood clots, and that's basically what it is. It comes strictly from our diet and having a high acidic diet. So I was, so I just wanted to call in because, that's my thing, and I always want to help and put my word in. So,
Tammy, I would love to have you on the show to help us to eat better and to kind of live a cleaner life. And, if that's one of the things that it takes for us to not die at such high rates, because you're right, like with breast cancer, African American women, we die at a higher percentage. And when we are diagnosed with breast cancer, usually it's at a higher stage and a more aggressive cancer. And, some of that is diet, some of that is hereditary, but anything that we can do to help improve our lives as women, as Black women, that's what we're here for, and that's what we want to support. Yeah. So absolutely, Tammy.
Yeah, I would love to, and I would love to speak on hereditary too, because we feel like hereditary, and people don't know what hereditary means. Hereditary means that when you were born with the same makeup as what your parents are eating. But, you don't have to have that. You can change the structure of your cells even as you go through. That's my life, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why I want you on. You got to come on and talk to us, girl. But I know you're going to keep me on and keep me talking about it. But thank you so much for calling in, and you are 100% right. And do you have like a website or someplace that people can go to learn more about what you do?
Well, I'm all over social media. They can check out, I started my new company, Get Raw with Tammy. Mm-hmm. So they can check me out on all social media. And I'll be coming up with a website soon and all that stuff. But you can find me out there talking and running my mouth. But I wanted to say, your guest, I've been listening to her little, her stuff about the fashion and all of that stuff. And you looking good in your deluxe boutique. I just want to say, y'all out there styling and profiling. So I wouldn't mind coming on the show to style with y'all, because I'm going to bring the style and the energy. Boom.
Oh, my goodness, Tammy. Thank you so much. Yes, Tammy, you introduced me to Carla, so thank you.
Oh, you are welcome. Y'all keep it going. And tell your guests, I'm listening. Great information. Hey.
Okay. Hey, thank you.
Bye, Tammy.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
That is good stuff. And I can't wait because I do believe nutrition plays such an important role in what we're doing. And like, I'm constantly like playing with what I eat and what fits my lifestyle. And I just recently switched over from, what is it? It's keto. And what's the other one?
I know the keto
Paleo.
one. Oh, okay.
Paleo. And paleo didn't work for me because I need fat. Mm-hmm. I need healthy fats. Mm-hmm. But keto, it's like I don't crave the sugars anymore. Like that keto, it's and keto diet is where you eat proteins and where you eat fat and where you eat, you do eat some fruit sugars and you get sugar, but you get it from fruit. Mm-hmm. But it's trying to eat like a healthier lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And for me, it fits my body better. I feel like I can focus better. But, Tammy, like what you said, you're 100% right. Like, we can't live on Diet Coke and candy and popcorn. Not that is you at all, but in general, it's so much easier to eat processed food and to stop at the fast food place. And, even when I was going through my fight, it's like that's what I craved. Like, I craved hamburgers and French fries.
Yes, you did.
Oh, my God. Woo, girl. It tasted good, but and when you're going through something, you want to put a little like that. You want to put a little weight on to give your body energy. But ultimately, when we start eating better, we'll start feeling better. And as Black people, we'll start living longer, more productive lives because we're feeding our bodies with the nutrients it needs. Right. So, okay, that's my thing with Tammy. Thank you, girl. But like kind of what you were saying, the doctor had brought you in, said that you needed to stay overnight. He had good news and bad news. Yes. And so the bad news was he was diagnosing you with the largest brain aneurysm he had ever seen. Yes. What the heck was the good news? Because that don't sound all that good to me.
And that was the good news. The bad news was I had to stay there at the hospital.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, okay. So I stayed for a week in the hospital. They kept giving me all the tests. They looked at it, and the aneurysm wasn't leaking. It was solid in place. So the doctor knows that he needed a special team. He needed a special team to go in. I needed to acknowledge and consent to having a craniotomy, in which craniotomy, they cut my head all the way open. They bring it down like having a face lift. They cut a piece of my bone off, and they were able to see the aneurysm. This is during the surgery. And they said it was bruised and it was like ready to rupture, But let me go back. So I I stayed for a week at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
They let me go home, which was traumatic for my family.
Yes.
Because they were thinking, why would
you were
you let
taking
her...
time bomb.
Yeah, why would you let her go home? And so the doctor said, it's not leaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to get a special team, and you guys have to consent to it. So they let me home. They gave me a high dose of blood pressure medication. Now, people think, and I know they say that blood pressure is a cause of aneurysms.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree. To me, it's a symptom, but not the true cause.
Okay.
The cause is the wall was weak.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they don't know why walls get weak.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem that I had to not understanding that.
Like the wall of the vessel.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can doctors not know how that happens, but they don't know how? And it could happen in any part of your body where you have veins and arteries.
Mm-hmm.
Any wall could be weak. So that was that. And I say that because I never had high blood pressure until about 6 months before they found the aneurysm. Yes. So that's why I debate
Right.
Blood pressure being a cause.
Mm-hmm. And, we're not doctors. We just have gone through some stuff.
Mm-hmm. So they gave me a high dose of blood pressure medication. They told me I have to stay home on the couch, be real calm.
Yeah.
Scheduled this visit with the doctor. Me and my whole family went down. We had the visit. They were able to show me everything in detail.
Now, at any point, are they telling you to prepare, to plan for the best but prepare for the worst? Like, were they saying anything about, like, you could just as easily as you could have lived, it probably was a more probable that you wouldn't have because of everything you were going through? Were they telling you to get your affairs in order, or they were just like, this is going to be fine, we trust in God? Well, because Loma Linda's like that. Like, I know before I had my baby, they were like, let's pray. Like,
I know.
I was like, okay.
I love Loma Linda.
Me too.
I love Loma Linda. Basically, he told me you have about 8 weeks to live.
Oh, my God. I can't imagine. And how old were you?
Let's see. This happened in 2012, December 2012. I guess I was 43, something like that.
That's like at 43, you never expect to hear you have 8 weeks to live.
You have about 8 weeks to live. It's so large, it will rupture, and you will probably not live. So we need you to hurry and make a decision. And you're strong, and it's about 50-50, but you're strong. And we think, it'll be okay. But I'm going to have a special team there with me, just in case you bleed out on the table, which I did.
Oh, my gosh.
So there was a special team that clipped my carotid artery.
Oh, my gosh.
And they stayed at the head of the bed. And then I bled out, and they lost me a couple of times.
Oh, because you didn't tell. Like, I know that something actually happened while they were doing your cradiotomy.
Yes. Well, they opened me up, and they cut a piece of my skull off, and they were looking at it, and they said it was bruised up, and they were going to try to clip it. That was the whole process. They were going to try to clip the aneurysm so that it wouldn't rupture.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, as soon as they start picking with it, it just ruptured right there on the table. It ruptured on the table. The doctors told me later, about a few months later, that I sent them in a panic.
Oh, my goodness.
And he knew that he needed that special team with him. So, of course, they had to run out to the lobby to my family and stuff and keep getting consent. I had to have lots of blood.
So they went out during the middle of your surgery to tell your family your aneurysm had ruptured while you were on the table.
And they needed consent for blood after blood after blood.
Because, oh my, I don't remember. Like, I got cancer brain, so half the time I don't remember anything. But I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
And so you had to get transfusions.
Yes.
And your family was the one they were the ones that were donating their blood.
Well, no, it's already there, but they had to get consent
For
from
you.
my family.
Oh, okay, got it.
From my dad and my little sister, Shakina.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to keep running out and getting consent from them. So that's when all you guys knew something was wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how long was the surgery?
The surgery was supposed to be 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It turned into 12.
Oh, my gosh.
It turned
That's
into
insane.
12. They did save me because I'm here.
Obviously.
I'm back. Thank God.
Yay!
No, I'm here. So, but it was traumatic. I went into a coma for almost 2 weeks. I was supposed to come out and have recovery and be able to talk to you guys, and that never happened. So about 2 weeks later, I finally came off the machine. I was finally able to breathe on my own. And,
oh my gosh.
But it was traumatic. It was very traumatic.
And like, what were they telling your family? Were they saying like your brain just needed time to heal, or that they weren't sure what you could wake up as, like if you could be like a vegetable, or did they know it was going to be okay and you just needed time for your brain to heal?
No one knew what was going to happen.
Oh my
And in fact, one of my sisters didn't think I would last. Yeah, so that
Was she trying to pull the plug?
well. Well,
We all got that one.
okay. Well,
Except for I know. I only have one sister.
well, her and the doctor debated, and the doctors the doctor said no. The doctor said
They debated?
yeah. Well, they were arguing, I should say. So the
That's
doctor
insane.
said, no, I didn't put her in a coma. Her body went into a coma, and you have to understand her brain is traumatized.
Yeah.
So, and she's not brain dead, and I'm going to let her come out of the coma. She'll
Naturally.
It was 2 weeks later.
Wow.
So-
Which I remember. I remember going up to the is that when you were in the rehabilitation hospital?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So I stayed in ICU for 6 weeks, and then when I did wake up, it was traumatic. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew it was all bad. I knew it was all bad, and my head was hurting. And one of my girlfriends from St. Bernardine's Hospital, she's a nurse, she was hitting on my bed. That's how I woke up out the coma. She kept hitting on the bed, banging it. So I was like, woke up, and I'm like, okay, what is going on? My head is pounding. And that's when I started waking up out the coma. So
Wow.
thank God she was
hitting on
hitting
the
the
bed.
bed. And so they said I kind of went crazy. I wanted to get into, how I am.
Yeah.
I wanted to get in the bath. I wanted to, what's going on? What's going on around me? So it took a couple of more days, and then I finally came out of it.
And do you have any memory of before you woke up?
Now you're going to make me cry. Okay. So, and people would ask me that all the time, did you see the light? What happened? So my only memory was I kept screaming for my mom. She's going to make me cry. I kept screaming for my mom.
If you cry, I will cry.
Okay. We're not going to do that. But I kept screaming, Mommy, Mommy. And I was getting upset because she was not answering me. She wasn't answering me. And I kept seeing a wooden clock on the wall. And it said 12 o'clock. That's all I remember. I kept remembering the wooden clock, 12 o'clock. And I kept saying, why does it keep being 12 o'clock? I don't understand that. Well, about a year later, and I was angry with my mom. But about a year later,
Because she had already passed.
my mom had passed 2 years prior to that. And she died at 12 o'clock.
Oh, that gave me the chills.
She died at 12 o'clock, which was why she didn't answer me. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
I knew you was going to make me cry.
Oh my God.
That is the only memory that I had. And I was screaming her name. I was so mad she would not answer me. So that was it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We're going to take a quick break because we both need some tissues up in here. But my guest today is Shanine Hall. She is an amazing person who's gone through extraordinary things. And when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about what you're doing now with everything that has happened. I find that when we go through extraordinary circumstances, when everything is taken away from us, it does one of two things. Mm-hmm. It either makes you push harder and become greater, or it makes you just wilt and settle into the darkness. And you've done the first. Mm-hmm. You have become so great and so powerful. So when we come back, I want to talk about what you're doing now.
Okay. Let's get some tissue.
Yeah.
The Monday morning men's group gets together because we're just some brothers hanging out having coffee. And we need a safe space where we can talk and be ourselves.
Hidden Treasure was written for women, but the added bonus for all you men out there is you finally get to know what we are thinking. If you want to live a life you love, if you want your relationships to be stronger, then purchase your copy today.
Hello, my name is Kara Adams. I'm the author of Hidden Treasure. I'm a speaker, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a cancer survivor, and what I want to do is invite you to my one-day VIP gym retreat. It's at the beautiful Mission Inn. The retreat will be on May 11th. It is from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. The retreat is for anyone who puts themselves last because you're putting your family first, you're putting your career first, and what we want to do is to put you first for once. So if you are looking for a day of pampering and to just be treated like the king or queen that you are, please feel free to come and to join us. Find out how to sign up for it if you go to my website, which is www.karaadams.com, and I hope to see you there. My Hidden Treasure Moments podcast. My guest is Shaneen Hall, and we're talking just about what has happened to her in her life, and we're talking about aneurysms and just that they're the silent killer that no one knows about. And so when we left off, you were talking about kind of the visions you were having and the conversations you were having while you were in your coma. Yeah. So we'll kind of jump back right in there.
Oh, goodness.
And we were crying.
Yeah, we were crying. So that was the only vision that I had and that I can remember. Mm-hmm. And it took about a year, and me and my family was sitting down, and it had dawned on me. I guess we were talking about my mom, and it had dawned on me why the 12 o'clock, the wooden clock at 12, what it meant. Mm-hmm. And so we were all crying on the floor about that because I couldn't remember. I kept saying, why this clock is at 12? Yeah. How come I keep remembering it over and over and over? And that's why. So mommy wasn't ready for me. Yeah.
Oh my God, that gives me the chills.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness.
And I finally forgave her after that because I was so angry. I was so angry. Like, she is not listening to me. You know, I know I'm the black sheep of the family, but still. I'm your bad girl, but still. But yeah, so that was that.
Wow. And so tell us a little bit about Shaneen's dream and what that looks like. And if somebody wanted to donate or wanted to support, like, how could they do it?
Okay. Well, Shaneen's Dream is my foundation for aneurysms. I am putting it all together now, so you guys will be able to look it up on the website.
But they can find you on social media.
Yes.
So if they want to follow you.
The Facebook, Shaneen Hall.
You said the Facebook.
The Facebook, Shaneen Hall.
How old are we when you call it the Facebook?
The Facebook.
Okay, sorry. What is it?
Shaneen Hall. That's it, just my name.
How you spell it?
SHANEEN. last name is Hall, Hall.
Okay. So if anyone's interested in finding out more, and what are some of the things you want to do with your foundation?
Well, with my celebrity friends, I told Warren and all of them that I need their support. So once I get everything in place, every year the Aneurysm Foundation, Aneurysm Month is in November. Okay. So I've been in contact with the Brain Aneurysm Foundation. I want to do some speakings with them and tell my story because I am a living witness. And I could tell you the downfalls and, the issues and everything that I had with it. So people can understand.
Yes.
Because people don't really understand aneurysms.
And people rarely survive them.
Yeah.
Like, is there a statistic or a stat of?
Yes. There's a percentage. It's like 90%.
I was going to say it has to be so high.
It's like 90%
of people who
have an aneurysm rupture
dies.
And they will find out that you had an aneurysm in the autopsy. That's how they find out. So my thing is, what I've learned when they found mine, you have to have a CAT scan and an MRI. You have to have both, because with one, the doctor just seen
a mass.
And by the time I would have got to him, I would have been dead. You know what I mean? Scheduled an appointment and trying to see. It would have ruptured. So my thing is, we have to find a way. So the symptoms. Let me tell you the symptoms: the headaches, severe headaches, and blurriness of the eye.
And is it like when you get blurry vision, it's like one eye but not the other?
Well, it could be both, but most of the time it's the left eye for some reason.
Oh.
Most of the time when people I talk to that had the blur vision, it's mostly in their left eye.
That is a trip.
Yeah.
And it probably could be either, but just in your circumstances, it was one eye versus the other.
Yes.
Not that that's the only, whatever it is, like
the
symptom, but it's one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they say you really have this migraine headache. I didn't have it. Now, let me fast forward. I do work in ICU.
You're in yes.
I'm a critical care technician at St. Bernardine's Hospital.
Whoop, whoop, St. Bernardine's.
Okay. So I know I get patients that have had aneurysms. Well, most of them don't come out of surgery. They die right there on the table. So when I heard that I had an aneurysm, I knew I thought I was going to die. But then some come out, and depends on where your aneurysm is in your head, what part, it will take a place on what symptoms or what deficits that you will have. After.
Okay.
If you survive.
Okay. And like, what are some of the things that you've had to live with because of your aneurysm?
Well, this is crazy. Now I am, I'm blind in the left eye.
And is that because of the aneurysm rupturing?
Yes, because it ruptured, it blew out the sockets in my left eye. So, but my eyes can't tell that I'm blind in the left eye unless I close my right eye. See, the body is perfect. The body,
that's crazy.
Yes, the right eye adjusted, so I could see everything just fine. Now, if I close this eye, he said, and thank God. Now, here's the point: thank God you had 20/20 vision. See how God works? Because if I didn't, I'd be totally blind.
Wow,
is that crazy?
Now, how do the two relate? Like, if you, like, let's say me, I can't see in front of me. Like, my glass is on the table right now. But, like, if your vision isn't 20/20 or wasn't before, you wouldn't just have less in that one eye. Would it be because it's straining more, or?
Well, if you had poor vision at first, it's going to be worse.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be worse.
Okay.
So thank God I had 20/20 because I could see everything. Now my peripheral, it's a challenge. So I do have that. What else? My
do you get like headaches or?
Not anymore. Now, I was getting them before, but they weren't massive headaches, and probably because they kept telling me I was controlling it. Every day at work, I would pop in a leaf in my mouth.
Yeah.
So I never
you
had
didn't
the
even
migraine.
know that you were doing it. Okay.
But I did notice a few months before, like, I'm starting to get headaches. But I'll pop a leaf and go on. I'm in ICU. I got to work. So those were the only symptoms. And then 6 months into it, they found the high blood pressure. So they gave me medication for that. But yes, there is some deficit. So the eye, it actually gave me hypothyroidism.
Which does what? Is that the one you gain weight or lose weight?
That's the one you gain weight. Your whole system slows down. Now there's an in-between to that. Fast forward. They found out
you losing a ton of weight.
After 6 months in the hospital, I couldn't put numbers together. I couldn't put letters together. My mind was just, I could see you, I could talk to you, I couldn't remember your name. So it was devastating. 6 months of therapy, went home. I had to come back. The ambulance had to bring me back twice. They figured out that because of the aneurysm ruptured, it ruptured my pituitary gland. I do not have a pituitary gland. That's another whole story. And long story short, pituitary gland controls all the hormones in your body, every single hormone in your body. And if you don't have it, you will die. So my body was shutting down again. So that's why you guys were back in the hospital.
Because you lost maybe 50, you lost a lot of weight really, really fast.
Well, because my mind wasn't telling my body that I was hungry. That's why they didn't know. Hungry. I was hungry. I know hungry. I'm sorry. Oh my God. But yes. And so the doctor with the aneurysm, he said, I'm going to have to put you on a feeding tube because I wouldn't eat. I wasn't hungry.
Right.
Hungry. And he said, we're down to 50 pounds.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to have to put you on a feeding tube. So I'm crying. I'm like, I don't want to eat.
What else, Lord?
Yeah, I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat. But it was the cause of the pituitary gland. It wasn't telling my body. So that's every hormone. So now I have to go to endocrinology every 3 months. I'm on steroids.
And they check to make sure.
Yes. My blood levels have to be right, or they have to change it. I'm on steroids for the rest of my life because it tricks the brain to believe that I have a pituitary gland.
Oh.
So that's how I'm living.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, we have, the show was supposed to be like sex and dating after, but I go down a rabbit hole and I get so interested in Shanine was a sharpshooter and that, you spent all in that, the 2 weeks that you were out and that you have these memories and, it's just really, really fascinating. And to know, we're just everyday people. Yeah. And so those are the stories for me that are motivating, that I want to put out in the world and that I want to show people that no matter how dark today is, that there is always light tomorrow. Tomorrow is always a new day. And so never give up on the fact that your life can be better. It can be good. It can be the life that you love. And so I want to first and foremost thank Shanine for being here, being my guest, opening up, sharing, kind of the intimate moments of what you were going through. Is there anyone that you would like to thank?
Oh, I would thank Loma Linda, all of Loma Linda staff, the doctor, Dr. Sue, who performed the surgery, his assistant, everybody, the special team, all my family and friends. It was rough. It was rough for you guys, too. Just everybody. And
your optometrist?
My optometrist. Yes.
He started the whole thing.
He started everything. And I still see him. He's in Rancho Manga, and I see him every year. He's put me in his book and his documentary.
Because they've done a case study on you now.
Yeah, they use my surgery as training for Loma Linda, which insane. I've heard. So, but I just want to tell everybody, thank God, thank life.
Tell them.
You just, I thank God every day. you know, and I know that this is a second chance for me. Mm-hmm. So I thought I was, you know, being good, you know, and doing what I was supposed to do and always honor God. But after that, you know, it's a second chance of life. And everybody, you have to live right, live good, do right, and appreciate and thank your Heavenly Father. So
that is a good word. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the supporters and my sponsors. I definitely can't go a day without thanking Gigi and Marcy from Creative Solutions Marketing and Printing. I have to thank Carla. I don't even have to. I love to thank Carla, who is with Deluxe Boutique, an online store, who, you know, gives me my fits and my fashions. And then, you know, my husband, my son, for just being such a support and allowing me to live in my dream and just be really in this place of thankfulness and of gratefulness and to be doing what I love. And then also, you know, got to thank Felicia and Morris Media Studios for just giving us the platform to be able to put good and light in the world. And to my girlfriend, Rashawn, who's in the back, who came to watch. And Jordan, who is my social media extraordinaire. He is a huge, huge support, and it takes a team to make this go so smooth. So until we see you next week on Thursday at 10:30 from 11:30, be good to each other and have a great day. Bye.